Hello, fellow photographers and editing enthusiasts. How's it going? Welcome to Mastin Labs Photo Editing Deep Dive, where we take a detailed look into one, sometimes two specific editing techniques or styles. We analyze them, we experiment with them, not to strictly tell you the right or wrong way to approach your photography, but aiming to create an edit that is as easy to achieve as it is beautiful to see. So if you love editing photos almost as much as you love capturing them, or if you're simply looking for inspiration on your next project, then welcome home. My name is Casey. Let's get comfortable and talk about photo editing. Really quick, if you get something out of these, I invite you to become a subscriber to our channel. There should be a little button down there, and by subscribing, you'll ensure to never miss a tutorial, an edit, or a guide, making it easier for you to recreate these looks in your own photos. It's also a fantastic way to support us and the channel in creating more and better content. And a huge thanks already to all of our current subscribers. We love you guys. And for everyone else, I love you too. You're amazing, and thank you for helping, watching, and liking, and commenting, and all of those things there that are just such fantastic ways to support the channel. I appreciate them, and I appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get started with our edit today. We're going to be talking about the Mastin Labs 3-step workflow. The 3-step workflow is there to help you with consistency in your work. If you're unfamiliar, it's 3 simple steps, and we'll move to our first image and talk about exactly what goes into the 3-step workflow. It could not be more simple. Essentially, to get to the 3-step workflow is to apply a look, adjust exposure, and correct for white balance. Now, the reason that we do that is when we do apply a look, and I'll go ahead, I'm going to go to our Fuji Original pack, and we're going to be using the Fuji 400H preset for this. Fuji 400H is sort of the light and airy look that everybody's after. It's one of our, it's certainly the most popular film preset we have, and one of the best. So I'm going to apply the look. That's step 1. And you'll see, I mean, right out of the gates, first of all, this looks amazing, but you'll see that it has applied a color palette. So if I hit before and after, you'll see that the colors in this photo are changing, and it looks really great. So just by clicking on that, it's applying that color palette to this image and giving you that light and airy look. Next, I'm going to move over and I'm going to raise the exposure of this image just a little bit, enough to bring up a little bit more detail in the shadow region, but not to blow out the entire image. Now, our next and final step of the workflow is to correct for white balance. So this photo, they're above green. Generally speaking, if I zoom in really close, wow, that was very close. If I zoom in, there tends to be a little bit of green that will come as an undercast that you'll see in the shadows just sort of under people's necks if they're standing above a whole bunch of grass. Now this image in general I think could use a little bit of warmth, and to help combat some of that green reflection, I'm actually going to push just a little, not a lot, a little of the tint in there. Now the tint slider itself, a little goes a long way, so just make sure to keep that in mind as you're adjusting and correcting your white balance. Another thing, I'm going to add just a little bit of extra warmth using the temp slider again, and just, yeah, there we go. I mean, that looks great. There are other things that we can do beyond there. If you're familiar, we have our tone profiles. These help to mitigate challenging contrast situations. So if you have, if you want more to add more contrast to your image, you can use all hard or any of the hard tone profiles, which will add more contrast to that area. All hard adds both to the highlights and shadows. Highlight hard, just the highlights. Shadow hard, just the shadows. And conversely, all soft softens those things. It recovers detail in both the shadows and the highlights. For something like this, if I'm going for a light and airy look, all soft works really, really well with Fuji 400H because it is just giving you more dynamic range, and it's doing it in a way that is just sort of soft and gentle, and it's treating it exactly like film would. These tone profiles are actually based on the Fuji Frontier 3000 scanner, and they work in the same way that you would on a real film scanner. So at this step, I'll go ahead, I'm going to hit before and after, just again so that you can sort of get the gist of where we are, how far we've come. And I'm going to scoot on down. We have a bunch of other tools. We have our AI tools, our specialty tools, and grain. But just for as far as the 3-step workflow goes, the last thing I'm going to do to this photo is just add a little bit of lens correction. And the lens correction, as you'll see here, just kind of balances the exposure in the overall image. It's removing the vignetting from the edges and a little bit of that distortion. So I think right here is looking pretty good. I'm just going to give you that before and after. And I mean, this is a look that clients kill for. It is just, it's incredible. Let's go ahead and we'll move on to our next image. For this image, I'm actually going to be editing this, let's see, with, I think I'll go to our Lifestyle Everyday Pack, and I'll be using Superior. So again, Superior is a much different looking film than Fuji 400H, and when I apply this, you'll see that it's adding a lot of warmth. Fuji Superior does a really great job, I think, in sort of cozy environments. You'll also see that, like, if I'm looking over here, I mean, this is a much more warm scene. Shot inside, you know, it's hard to say exactly when, but this gives a great reason as to why we work in the 3-step workflow again. So I'm applying the look, I'm adjusting exposure, and now I'll correct for white balance. There we go. Now, if I was to do this the opposite way, and I'll go ahead, I'll hit reset. I'm going to just adjust for exposure. I mean, right here, it looks good. Like the skin looks good. It looks correct. Now, each film, if you were to shoot the actual real film, has sort of a built-in white balance to it, as do our presets. So when we apply the look at this stage, after maybe already doing, I'll just do this for the sake of doing, I've adjusted exposure, I've corrected for white balance. You know, this as a photo is looking good. If I'm applying the film look, now you'll see that all of these colors and the exposure has changed again, and I don't want it this bright. So I have to then go back to our exposure panel, and I have to go back to the white balance and do those other corrections. And now I have that film tone that comes from Superior, that is so beautiful from Superior. But it is, again, I have had to now touch the exposure and the white balance slider twice. Versus if I just go, I apply my look. Now everything I do after this is going to be with that base palette, and I no longer have to go back and forth between these to get to that edit. And I mean, as you see right there, I just did a quick edit with Superior 400, and that looks amazing, and it took no time at all. Let's go ahead, we'll move on to our next image. For this one, we're going to talk about black and white really quick. I think, let's see, we'll go for, I think I'll go to Artisan Everyday. One of my favorites is Pan F. I'm going to do, yeah, 35 millimeter, get a little bit of that grain in there, but not too much. And we can talk about sort of the 3-step workflow here. Really, it's applying the look and adjusting for exposure. Now, one thing I would say is if you are editing in black and white, try to get sort of a neutral white balance. Maybe before, that would be the one time I would say that it's okay to touch your white balance before, but realistically, you don't have to touch your white balance. As soon as you apply black and white, it is changing those colors to fit the film in a similar way. You know, they're all based on daylight balance. I would say, if anything, you could go to daylight, and this would probably get you the closest to the actual film, but there's always reflections. There's always a lot going on. So generally speaking, if you're just applying your black and white, so you don't have to worry about the white balance at all. So it's more of a 2-step workflow, I suppose, for editing with black and white. But there you go. That's a quick edit with Pan F 35 millimeter. I freaking love this film. It's so beautiful, so punchy and contrasty, and this does a great job. One thing, if we're just going to talk a little bit more, that I would do to this photo is just to use an AI tool, and that is Spotlight. And Spotlight does something that's really cool. It brings down the background and brings up the exposure of the subject in your photo. So for this, I'll go to our preset slider up here. Now, all of our presets work with the preset slider, and I can bring this back to 0. And when it's at 0, this is sort of where it started. If I double click that, it goes back to 100, and that is the effect applied. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll bring it back to 0 just so you can watch it slowly creep in. And you can see the background, the exposure is dropping, and his exposure is coming up, and is sort of softening a little bit of that contrast, really just making your subject stand out a little bit more. And the way that it works is just, it looks like you're relighting your photo. It looks like you are actually casting a spotlight on this person or on your subjects, and just does an incredible job. It's one of my favorite tools out of all of our tools. Let's go ahead and we will move again. This is really just, we're going to be talking about that 3-step workflow. I think for this image, let's see, we can go into, you know, let's do Portra. I think Portra 400 is good. I'm going to bring up our exposure a little bit, and I'm going to correct for white balance. Yeah, this is a darker shot. You know, it's at night. We want to make sure that these warm lights are coming in. I love this shot. I love their expression. It's really great. Maybe I will apply Shadow Soft just to give a little bit more detail back into those shadows, especially up here. But that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I really like that. Now, one thing, and this is definitely beyond the three-step workflow at this point, is we have a little bit of noise in the background. We do have a tool to help with that, and that is dynamic noise reduction. And dynamic noise reduction works based off of your photo's ISO, and it applies the amount of noise reduction based on that ISO. So in this shot, it's shot at ISO 1000. If it was shot at ISO 100, it would apply nothing. And if it was shot at ISO 4000, in fact, I think this shot, yeah, was at ISO 4000. Let's go ahead and I'll apply it. I'll even zoom in right here, and I'm going to apply the dynamic noise reduction, and you can see it's just taking the edge off of that. Now, this is a really great stopgap, an easy way to apply sort of noise reduction to a big group of images. Of course, if you wanted to, and we can go even further into noise reduction, I'll go ahead. I'm going to hit, there we go. I'll take that away. And I'm going to come down to detail, and we can just click denoise. If I click denoise, Lightroom does an incredible job of taking away the noise. You can see even better, but this also takes time. It takes a lot of time for it to process that sort of denoise, and then it also creates a new DNG, which again takes time. So the dynamic noise reduction works really great in a quick way. If you don't want to have to go through every single photo, of course, using the denoise tool is wild, and it does such a great job. But currently, it's not feasible, especially if you're editing like a big grouping of work, or you're editing a bunch of wedding photos and you need to apply some kind of denoise to everything. That would take forever. There we go. I'll go ahead and I'm going to separate these two, and we'll sort of toggle back and forth. But I mean, again, this is totally nuts. It did such a great job with all of this noise here. I'm going to go ahead and I'll move back, and there you can see the noise here. I can zoom in, and it is just, I mean, the denoise function really does do a great job. And your edits are still present. Everything is still retained here when you use it. So that's really nice. Let's go ahead. I'm going to move on to our next shot here. And for this, we're going to be doing something from the night and day pack. Generally speaking, let's see, I'm going to use, there we go, Cinema 800. And I'm going to, I don't know, cool this off. With Cinema 800, this is sort of a film that already is wacky. It has a lot of color shifts in the shadows and the highlights just all over the place. It does an amazing job with reds, and is just a really beautiful look. So I'm going to go ahead, I've raised our exposure, I applied the look, raised the exposure, now I'm correcting for white balance. I'm going to keep it a little funky. I want that sort of fall off from the red to transition into that blue, and I like the cyan sort of green that's coming over here. I might bring up our shadow soft a little bit, but even that felt like it was too much. So again, I'm going to go to our preset slider and bring that down. And then I just kind of like move it back and forth until I find a spot that feels right, that feels good as far as this photo goes. One other thing I could do, and one thing I actually really like doing, especially if an image like this is darker, is a little moodier, is to apply the dark and moody assist. And the dark and moody assist does this really cool thing where it's actually like kind of fading the image. So it is flattening this, it's making it, giving you that dark, that moody feel. And whenever I do this, and this is definitely a personal preference sort of thing, but I am going to apply 35mm grain on top of that. I love that faded look with a little bit of the 35mm grain. I think it adds a lot of depth and a lot of texture to a photo, and man, I just absolutely love how this looks. Let's go ahead. I'm going to do a before and after on that, and that is that's amazing. Yeah, totally love this look. It's amazing for any nighttime work, and just does such a great job. Let's go ahead on our last image here. I'll go ahead and we're going to move up and go into the cinema pack. This has some incredible looks, and we'll go through each of these just so that you can see what is possible. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create a couple of virtual copies here, and we can just see how diverse these are, and different kind of looks that we can get with them. So the first one, and I'll go over here, is going to be Cinema 50. Cinema 50 applies a much cooler look. It's probably one of the coolest films that we have. It works really well in sort of high contrast scenarios, but it's beautiful. I think if you're looking for something that is softer, has a softer tone, has really great highlight roll off, this is an amazing look for you. So I've applied our look. I'm going to, I don't know, bring up our exposure just a little bit, not a lot. I actually really like where this rests after applying Cinema 50. And I'm going to bring in just a little bit of magenta and add a little bit more warmth to it. Not too much, because I do like that cooler look. Okay. Yeah, there's a before and after, and yeah, I freaking love that. It's amazing. Let's go ahead and move to Cinema 400. And again, we're just doing these 3-step workflows. This is how fast your editing workflow can be. Apply the look, adjust exposure. Cinema 400 is a cleaner, certainly is a warmer type of look where you can really get a lot. But there, bing, bang, boom. I have apply the look, adjust exposure, corrector for white balance. And our last one, Cinema Double X of this pack, is a black and white. It has a little chunkier grain, certainly much more than the Pan F that we edited with earlier. It has a little bit of faded highlights, which I love, and it just does such a great job. I think applied one and done. That's sort of a one-click edit there on that, and I think it looks amazing. But there you go. That is our 3-step workflow. Again, it's just apply the look, adjust exposure, correct white balance. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you do have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us at support@mastinlabs.com or at m.me/mastinlabs. Until next time, have a great day and happy editing.